Yeah, people are still joining. Yeah, for those who are first timers here, welcome. Of course, who are but I see a couple of persons that are joining regularly. Welcome back, and as you know, we are official Microsoft Power BI user group in Latvia and Riga, and now we are doing our meetups. Sorry, online. And just before we starting, have this at the beginning. Let's look what is our next meetups. So if we look at our upcoming meetups for our group, what to look. So today we will talk about our aggregations. Not super. Sorry. Sorry, someone said something. Okay, today we are talking about aggregations. Not super fresh topic, but very interesting thing. A lot of updates last year. On April 7, we have meetup about Microsoft Power Platform Center of Excellence Starter Kit, or what's from the starter kit in Admin Center. Let's look what's changed after the Ignite conference, and then we have a couple of events about Power Apps. One is a Project Oakdale, which is Power Apps and Dataverse for Teams. And the good thing is that it's really included in the Teams license. You don't need any additional license to run that. Mm-hmm. And some additional practical training for beginners on Power Apps. So that's what's in the plans. Okay, but today we will start with Power BI aggregations, and mainly inspired by one of the DAX masters and Alberto Ferrari from SQL BI. We know them from previous meetings with sharing this Power BI visuals, and also learned from him a lot about aggregations and the tools he's providing and the methods he's providing to work with aggregations and everything else. Yeah, Maris, all our meetups are recording automatically, so you could see that it's also is recording, and then I'm time to time all are recorded, and then I upload them to YouTube, a little bit cut them out, trim from the beginning, and then share in through the email to the Power BI user group. So all these events are recorded. Okay, let's start with aggregations. I don't know how much you know about aggregations. What's your experience with aggregations? So I prepared the stories that could be very useful for someone who are very new to aggregations or never used, maybe, but maybe have in mind that it could be used. And even maybe for some who are quite experienced with aggregations, maybe some things could be useful too. And just before we go into the demo and showing you all things I prepared for this demo, short introduction. Aggregations we will use with a direct query, which is one of the scenario when we need aggregations the most, probably, because we are generate each time we are requesting data from database. We are generating SQLs and then calculate, execute them on the server, and then retrieving data. And it's a scenario for large amount of data. And when we think what means large amount of data, if you will try 60, 40, 50 million rows per table in import mode, it will be fine. Even I tried 100 million rows in direct query. It also works more or less, depends on server. But when we're talking about billion rows, or as in one of the Microsoft Ignite sessions, I seen something like trillion rows or something like that. Even for if you have such amount of tables, you need to do something. Otherwise, you will wait very long for some response. And of course, what it means aggregations, it means that we are using pre-aggregated data. That is how we use aggregations. And I will launch Power BI. We will use a desktop for demo. Oh, and while it's launching, let's go. So let's look at scenario. I created the SQL database on the virtual machine in Azure, and I used for demo Contoso retail data warehouse as a sample. We could see that there we have several tables. We will use just some of them to be sure. The largest table, probably, as you know, is a 3.4 million rows, but in our case, it's not so important. This size of number of rows is not so important as how it really works. Okay, I'm taking this away. Yep. So we have the Power BI, and we start with the Power BI, and then in the Power BI, what we will do, we will connect to the SQL server and connect to some tables in direct query mode. And we are saying get data from SQL server, provide an address of SQL Server, and now instead of usually using import, which imports data in Power BI engine, which usually you will hear maybe the term vertipack. Yeah, vertipack is a data storage engine used by Power BI, by Power Pivot in Excel, and also analysis services using vertipack engine tabular model. So we will say the direct query. Of course, when we are working in, we could use some SQL statement. It also could help us to optimize load, but in this case, we will just use a direct query mode. And first, yeah, we will provide SQL authentication. SQL authentication. It warns us that the encryption support not here. We know. And we will load 3 tables. We will start with 3 tables. We will select database, and what we will use a product table, we will use fact sales table, and we will use a data table, dim date. So 3 tables, I click load, and if you worked with a direct query mode previously, so what will happen, Power BI will not load any data. We will see that will not import any data. So we'll see all the tables, all the columns, and we are able to build any reporting here, but as you see on the left side, we don't have anymore this table view. We just have this canvas view, and we see the relationship view. So let's put it like this way, and I encourage you to use this new look and feel for this relationship view. So it looks more nicely. So we can see that tables visually are easily it's viewed with, and you will see with different additional formatting. We can see the many options. If you click on these tables, you already could see manage aggregations. Yeah, so we will come back to it, and many other functions. So we have this we have this data model, and yeah, we could build out of it a query. Let's take for example product label. You could see that it takes time. It's not working. Oh, so product label, we needed a product name instead of product label. Yep. And let's use, for example, this from fact sales quantity. Let's use sales quantity. Yeah. And again, you can see it works not super fast, not immediately, but still quite fast. And every time I selected something and I ask it to show results, what the Power BI do? Power BI create the SQL statement, go directly to our database, execute it, and that is how we get the result. Yeah, for example, if we look at the product table in SQL Server, it's Power BI generates some SQL statement like here. Yeah, you can see, and then that is how we get the data. And everything is super cool because it's we could get the really exact data what we have in database, so no refresh needed or something like that in this Power Query mode. But what is problem with that it is it's of course could be slow. So if there's a here we have a couple of million rows, so it works plus minus. If we will have several hundreds million rows, so it will work very slowly. So we need to think how to speed up all this and what we could do. And what we can do, we could build these aggregations. And aggregations means that we are pre-aggregating pre-aggregated some values. Yeah, for example, we are aggregating amount of quantity per year or amount of quantity per day. For probably their transactions. There are transactions by hour, but by several transactions by day. But when we are doing some reporting, building reports, we probably need only on day level or even months level. And why every time we need to do all these calculations? So let's pre-generate it, and of course we could do this pre-aggregations in several ways. So like in this case, what I did, I created the table sales by year. So I created the table which is pre-aggregated when I did a summary of sales by year. So it's created as a table, but in best case it should be a view, a SQL view. So you could ask to some of your database guys to create this, It means that every time you will select it or refresh it, it will be actual with actual values. Yeah, and let's import this table. We are going to recent sources. Select again, and we are sales by year. We are importing this table. Again, not importing, but direct query. Yeah, remember, we do a direct query for this table. Okay, we did a direct query, everything okay. This pre-aggregated. So idea of this pre-aggregated table is that this aggregation will be used. We assume that it will use when we are selecting this some quantity by calendar year. It will be used at this table, which will return result very fast, not the sales table, for example. And let's check it out. And the question is, of course, how to set up it as aggregation. So we just added this table with aggregation. We could you could see that now it shows very nice information. This tooltip. We see the storage mode. We see the source already, yeah, from where it is. But let's set up aggregation. So I click here, say manage aggregations, and now I have this aggregation menu. And what I could do here, here is my table. I select the calendar year. There's a couple of options how I could calculate it, like count, max, min, sum. In this case, it's grow by. It's from the table dim date, and it's a calendar year. Yeah, calendar year. And we have other aggregation, sum of quantity, and it will be, again, it could be different type of aggregations, in this case, sum, and it's from fact sales and um, sales quantity. Yeah, and now we are good. What else? We here see the precedence. It's currently 0. So if we have many aggregations, so we could put there some priority. So if we will have time, we will look at it. I'm adding, so I'm added here this aggregation. It put it as an invisible table automatically because all the aggregated tables looks as invisible for the model perspective. So now let's build, let's use this aggregation. So what we do, we say, let's the calendar year. We use a calendar year. And sales quantity. Yeah. Uh, and now we assume that the sales quantity used aggregated table, right? Because we did the all this data is available aggregated here. But how we could know? How you could know that it used aggregated table? And that's probably the most important question today for this session is how to understand that mm, uh, how to understand that it used it. And for that, the best way how to understand it is use a DAX Studio. So if you're writing DAX, so DAX Studio is the tool definitely you need to have and you need to use for for your DAXing. So I connect to this model, and we see the tables. Here we have all the tables, so we could write a DAX. And let's write some simple DAX. I will say evaluate values, and let it be product brand name, for example. And I will run it by cleaning cache. So run and clean cache. So I'm run it. So, why it's haha, yeah. Values, we need of course we need to use values. Dim product and the brand name. Yeah, and now we have a list of brand names here. It returns a brand name, but it just returns the brand name. We need to understand what's about aggregations, and to understand that there is a server timing on the icon. So we click server timing, and that is what we are interested in the server timing. Let's run it again. So we have this server timing here. So it shows us, most important, what it shows us two parameters. First, is aggregation used? So anytime you add any aggregations, you could then check that whether the query you are running using aggregations. And in this case, you see that rewrite attempt match attempt failed. So no aggregation used for this. And what else you could use? You could see the actual SQL statement. And in this case, what we see, select table, and what we see that from DBO product, DIM product, it means from the database. So it's using a direct query mode to do that. Let's try another one. Remember, in our table, we have a DIM date. Let's use a DIM date and calendar year, for example. So we definitely have this in our aggregation table. Run it and see does it. And again, attempt failed. So we don't use it requests from the SQL. So why we need to be more specific? So we will ask really for this summarizing. We say summarize columns, and we'll say dim date, calendar year. So when we are asking that what's really aggregated in this table, so we will ask for dim date and quantity, sum of fact sales quantity, sales quantity. And now let's run this, and we're running this. And now let's see what will be used. And we see that match found. It shows that match found, and using sales by year table. Let's look at our model here, sales by year. So in case we are asking for aggregation, so it means that we are asking that exactly what's stored in this aggregation table. So we see that it's actually using this aggregation table, and we could see that SQL statement. Yeah. So far so good. And let's try another one. So let's move this just in more visible way. And for example, if we look at our Power BI model, so we have dim date, and probably we want to do something through the color name or class name from the product, or product name. Let's try to just summarize by product name. Product. Dim product. Wait, Yanis, I will come back to you. Just a moment. Product name. And let's run it. And as you probably suppose, it will attempt files. So of course, nothing much for you found. So Jan is asking, can you show a source of sales by year aggregation table? A source, you mean in database? In database. So if we look at it in database, it looks like this. Here are our columns. So I just created the SQL that aggregates from do the join between date and sales table and create this this table. Or it could be it's better to create it as a view. I just created it as a table, but it should be as a view, and then you import as a view. And I created another table, so I will show it shortly. So it's much larger, and it's a table where I have aggregation, product key, sum of calendar year, product key, and sum of quantity. Yeah, product quantity. So we have more pre-aggregations because we have also more columns here. And let's just add this table. It could, yeah, in this case, we are still using, when we are addressing these aggregations, this aggregation table, we're still using direct query, but we will come up to import it also, but wait a moment. So go to recent sources, select the database, and let's add this other table just to see that it works for more complex aggregations. So, okay, yeah, load. Again, we will use direct query here. Yes, it's possible to import it, but I will show you how to switch it to import mode. So we have several modes for tables, like, but currently just let's use it and import it. And yeah, if we look, talking about the different modes, when you click, you could see in advanced options that you could change to 3 modes: import, direct query, and dual. Dual, it means that it's importing, but still could work with the direct query import tables. And import is importing tables. So important notice, when you switch to import, you will never could get back. It means you need to create it from again. So be careful of what you are switching over. So it's maybe better to use it as a dual. And let's configure this aggregation. I again click manage, and we have this aggregation menu, group configuration, group by dim date and calendar year here. So you do it according your grouping. Here we have a product, then product, and product key. We'll have a product key here. And here is a warning, but let it aside for now. Sum, fact sales, and quantity, sales quantity. Okay, we are good to go. And now we again created this. Aggregation. You could see it don't need to be linked with anything. And let's try now to ask something like from the product and from this new aggregation. And we will ask that this instead of product, let's ask a product key first, because it for sure should work. Yeah. We execute that. And let's see which of these so match found, it works, and we see that it works with the right table, sales bulk product and the year. Oh, very nice. And let's try a different column from this table, like product name. Let's use a product name. And as I remember, it's not working. Yeah, and it's it's because it works only with what's stated here. We can't use it just with unlinked aggregation table using other columns from this dimension. But what we could do, we could link. We could say that let's product key link with here and establish this link. Remember that you need to make this link from aggregation table to this table, not other way. So you will get an error, so it's not a problem. You will learn it very quickly. And let's try to do this same query again. And we're doing again it. And now you see that result match. It means that it's using this aggregation table, and so technically it means that we get results much quicker. So super quick. And instead of some law, it's especially if you are build very clever system, so it works really smoothly, very nice, and large tables returns you needed results. Okay, let's do another one, and let's create let's ask dim date and calendar year. So it should calendar year, and here let's ask for distinct quantity, distinct count of fact sales, and customer key. Product key, sorry, product key. So, and we expect here, we expect that it will work because actually we have all the data in aggregated table. So we have a customer product key here, and also have a calendar year. But we are asking this from different table. Let's see, will it work? And we are running this query, and we see that attempt failed. So it does not really work. Why? Let's look at here at the aggregation management. And we see that product key actually is a dim product. That is a reason why this kind of aggregation not working. But if we change it to fact sales, and sorry, just and that therefore you see that you need to be very careful about what you are aggregating, so it's not working all the time. You can't put everything you want and it will work, so you need to be very strict and careful. And now it works, so no problem, and we can see that it works very well. What is not working here, if you will try to do something like SumX, yeah, SumX, and try to multiply, for example, some sales quantity with net price, it will not work here. So you need to create a separate column to do that. And now let's try that. Let's import this table. So we imagine that we want to do that. These tables are staying in SQL Server, so in direct query mode. And these aggregated tables we want to have in vertipack in our Power BI, so that it runs even faster. So let's try and look, will it work? So I'm saying, let's import it. I'm changing to import mode. It says me that there are two types. When I have this mixed model, when I have vertipack tables and direct query tables, there are strong connections and weak connections. Strong connections we will have this with a inside the same mode. So the strong connections are between the direct query mode tables, and strong connections you will have the between import mode or vertipack models. So currently I will say that I will, it recommends me also to move dim product to import mode, but I currently will not do it. I'm saying let's import this one, and you see that it physically imports now. It imports fields in my model. So, and now you could see that we had this icon, the data icon appears here. Icon appears here, and we could see these sales by product. Yeah, Yanis is asking what exactly means dual storage mode. Dual storage mode means that it imports the data in the model, and it keeps power direct query connection. It means that when it will need to use why it's needed, you will see this shortly. So it's needed that when you are requesting data from this table, for example, and the imported table, this table should be an import mode or dual mode. So if it's in like currently it's in direct query mode, so you can't actually do the joint queries here. So if you put it in dual mode, so it's possible to do queries here and also possible to do it queries here. Yeah, that is a dual mode, that it works with imported data, and also works in same time with direct query mode. Okay, let's try some 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 expression, same we had previously. Let's have this sum of fact sales quantity. Sales quantity. And now, remember what we expect, that it will use this vertipack table, like imported table. We are doing this, and match found. Yeah, it's it's a different match. We see that it uses a table sales by year, so it uses this one. But let's change this. We will give a priority here. We say no, you are doing wrong thing. Let's give priority here. Let's give 20. Apply. That it is the high number is higher priority if there are two matches. Again, let's run again. Match found, and now you see that it is sales by product and year, this other table. And if you look at SQL, so it's very different. So it's a vertipack SQL. It's not a SQL Server SQL. It's a XM SQL. It looks like a SQL, but it's a XM SQL, which built into Power BI. So Ivar's asking, does it work with DAX summarized tables? Oh, good question. You mean summarized tables as aggregations? Yeah, should work. So you could even create this. You could create these aggregated tables in different ways. So you could create even them when you are importing data, and you know in Power Query there is a group by functionality. You create these aggregated tables with this group by. So it's different ways how to create this aggregated tables, and this you could see that this aggregation works also on the regular tables. Of course, if they are not aggregated, it's never, and they will never work and give you any success. But in this case, it's it works for that. Okay. Let's try another. So it works super good. So we are not going to through the direct query to SQL, not asking it anymore. We are asking it from Power BI. Let's do another. Let's ask something not so simple, but ask from product table from this. Remember that which is not in dual mode, dim product and product name. Let's run it. And we expect previously it worked, remember, and now it's not working. So why it's not working? Why it's not working? Because there is a weak connection. It means that this table is direct query and this table is imported. So let's make this table, we could make it as an import and then it will work, of course, but then we will have more trouble with other tables. So let's put it dual. Let's put it dual. We are saying, yeah, no problem. Let's put it dual. Potential risk, understand. And you see that it's importing data. And you see these dotted lines here. So it's a dual tables are with dotted lines. Normal direct query tables, we have this with solid line, and the imported tables without line. So that is how the coloring works. And you can see here, yeah, we are with this dotted line. So it's a dual and it's imported. So it's imported and connected to direct query. And let's run this again. We're running and found match, and we see that found match, and we again see that it's purely SQL statement which requests from the dim product, which is and the sales by product and year, which is comes from Power BI. So it's a XM statement. We are not using SQL Server anymore. So we are optimizing our model, and um, yeah, it works with these aggregations. And of course, this is currently we are looking at a very small model, but just to understand how it works. But in case we are working with maybe very large models, some pre-aggregated tables, could save you so much time, and you could only think that you see what need to be taken in account, how you model it. So it's very important how you build it, and you need to use DAX Studio to just check out what's really works, and which where the data is requested, to check out that your aggregations are working. So um, use it always to check that it's working, because Power BI currently not handling it automatically. And finally, probably the question that could rise, but I will raise it first. So of course, in some time when you are using this import mode and direct query mode, probably the data in the database is changing more often. So it probably even could be that like here we can see that year 2007, and imagine that it's imported right now. So if we are deleting it from the database, yeah, it using aggregations, it will still appear here. So we need to think how to control that, because it will not be controlled automatically. So we need to think about this synchronization, and for some scenarios it will be more complicated, for some much easier. So if you have a data cadence, so you need to change them on the daily basis, so it's easier. Then you do full refresh, and and um, and then data are synchronized. So be careful about it. But the rumors are that the Power BI team is working on it, how to synchronize it, and yeah. Probably it will be solved sometime, but yeah, but for now we could use this functionality. Okay, that's all what I wanted to show you today. So I'm ready for questions. Question for Julie: why did you make a relationship with the second and not the first? Yeah, a good question. So this table contains, as you see, aggregation on calendar year on quantity. So it's just a summarizing quantity on each year, right? And in this table, I summarized by year and by product key. Yeah, and by product key, it means that I could actually get this quantity by any of columns here in this dimensional table. So if I want to use a product name, it will not work because I don't have a product name here, right? It will work only with product key, but it doesn't make any sense. But if I do and Power BI don't understand this, to make a Power BI understand that this product key could be used as a reference for any column here, I need to create a relationship here. So, and when I create a relationship, I could use this aggregation with any of these columns here, like manufacturer or product name, not just product key. Like here, you see, I could change it to manufacturer. And because I have this relationship, it will use, there will be a match, and it will use aggregated table. Any other questions?
Aldis, do you hear me? Well,
yes. Speak.
Yes. Thank you very much. Very good explanation. So, if I understand right, then the key here is actually that you actually have this pre-aggregated data. So, because when I look from like a bird's view on this aggregation, then it seemed like that that Power BI does the aggregation itself, but this aggregation manage aggregations screen is meant only for matching existing tables together.
Yes, exactly. So you could see now on the screen, here is my aggregated table as a table in a database where I imported it. So I use this for example, I prepare this, for example, as a table, but it could be a view, it could be imported table in Power BI, yeah, and so on. So this aggregation menu you see here, sorry, not this manage aggregations. It's just when you have the model, so you have all the tables, and now you just show this is a metadata. This is a meta information for your aggregation table. That Power BI, you let Power BI model to understand how to address the query right in the right way, like providing precedents and all these aggregation details. So it's just a metadata. It's not aggregation itself.
So, and one more question. I heard you say that iteration functions like SumX doesn't work. Obviously, it seems logical as it still goes from the fact table row by row. So it's not even logical to get to the aggregated table. But what was the solution you suggested to actually be possible, or say be possible to do this kind of a iteration type of a function?
There is only one way how to do it, is create a column, calculated column for this aggregated table.
Yeah, so which actually already is summarized with the way, in a way you want to be summarized.
It could be, it could be already summarized, or you could calculate it. If you want to use expression here, it's also possible, but you need to have it as a column.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Thanks for questions. Anything else? Okay. If no, then thanks for attending this meetup. I hope it will be useful for you, and when you will need to load enormous amounts of data, and we are talking now about billions of rows already. So you could see that Power BI functionality is growing in providing us unbelievable capabilities. So we see that, like, we couldn't imagine 3 years ago that we will have such functionality. The next big thing that I'm waiting in a simple Power BI is, of course, incremental refresh and things like that. And again, all these features will work more smoothly. Of course, we have this incremental refresh here as a function. It's a story for different meetup, but we wait for more functionality. Okay, thank you very much. This recording will be available soon, and see you on our next meetups. Bye, and have a nice evening.